Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is not just about leadership theory, it's about how leadership actually works in the real world, how vision becomes execution, how inspiration becomes measurable performance, and how transformational and transactional leadership are not opposites but partners. If you are in a doctoral program in executive leadership, in cybersecurity, homeland security, business, education, or simply someone who wanna understand how great leaders think, this video is for you. We are gonna analyze Satya Nadella as our central leader, compare him with Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Warren Buffett, and then connect it all back to leadership behavior, theory, and your own development as a scholar practitioner. Let's begin. In today's video, we will explore leadership through multiple lenses: behavioral theory, transformational theory, and transactional structure. So we'll apply those frameworks directly to Satya Nadella leadership at Microsoft. We'll examine how vision becomes organizational energy, how planning becomes strategic alignment, and how performance systems create accountability without suffocating innovation. We'll then compare Natalie's approach to Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Warren Buffett because leadership cannot be understood in isolation. It must be evaluated in contrast. And finally, I'll model how to reflect critically on your own leadership style in a way that moves beyond labels and into behaviors, decisions, and outcomes. Behavioral leadership theory tells us that leadership is not simply about personality traits, it's about what leaders actually do. It examines how leaders communicate, how they structure work, how they respond to conflict, and how they balance task focus with relationship development. This framework is essential because transformational and transactional leadership both operate through behavior. In other words, inspiration is expressed through communication, accountability is expressed through systems, culture is shaped by repeated action. Leadership, at its core, is behavioral consistency aligned with strategic purpose. Transformational leadership centers on vision. It involves articulating a compelling feature, intellectually challenging teams to think differently, and creating psychological safety so innovation can thrive. When Satya Nadella became CEO of Microsoft, he introduced a growth mindset philosophy that shifted the culture from internal competition to collaborative learning. He replaced defensiveness with curiosity. And what we see here is not motivation slogans. We see behavioral reinforcement of learning, empathy, and shared mission. That is transformational leadership in action. Now, here's where many people misunderstand leadership theory. Transactional leadership is not negative. Transactional leadership is structure. It is the scaffolding that allows transformational vision to survive beyond speeches. At Microsoft, Nadella aligned compensation, performance metrics, and promotion systems with cloud growth, collaboration, and enterprise performance. Vision without structure collapses. Structure without vision stagnates. Sustainable leadership requires both. Under Natalie, Microsoft shifted from competing internal divisions to a one Microsoft philosophy. That was not branding, it was a behavioral reset. Shared metrics replaced isolated competition. Cross functional collaboration replaced siloed innovation. Vision became operational. And when vision becomes operational, culture changes. Great teams communicate with energy. They distribute engagement. They encourage exploration. They increase communication frequency and flattened executive barriers. He promoted hackathons, innovation forums, and transparent dialogue. Communication became a system, not an event. And when communication improves, trust increases. When trust increases, innovation accelerates. Executive teams determine whether strategy succeeds. Natalie rebuilt executive culture around empathy and accountability. He discouraged zero-sum competition between departments. He encouraged shared outcomes, and he reinforced psychological safety at the top, which cascaded throughout the organization. Team building is not a retreat, it is behavioral shift in how leaders treat each other. Strategic planning under Nedley focused on cloud computing and artificial intelligence. These were not random investments. They were disciplined, long-term commitments aligned with mission and capability. He repositioned Microsoft in competitive markets without abandoning core strengths. Problem solving became proactive rather than reactive. And this is where transformational vision meets transactional discipline. Culture does not change through speeches, it changes through training. Microsoft implemented structured manager development programs aligned with growth mindset principles. Mid level managers were trained to coach rather than command. Feedback system reinforced new behavioral expectations, and this is critical. Transformational culture must be taught, practiced, and evaluated. Otherwise, it becomes ordinary. Bill Gates demonstrated visionary ambition, a computer on every desk, but he also enforced rigorous review systems. He demanded precision. He relied heavily on analytical scrutiny. His leadership combined transformational direction with strong transactional control. Execution mattered as much as innovation. Steve Jobs inspired through narrative. He reshaped industries with emotionally compelling product launches. Yet behind that charisma was tight control. He monitored details relentlessly. His transformational inspiration was reinforced by transactional precision. Innovation was not left to chance. Warren Buffett leads differently. He emphasizes capital discipline and measurable returns, but he grants autonomy. He trusts leaders. He reinforces values rather than micromanaging. His model demonstrates that transactional clarity can coexist with transformational trust. When we compare these leaders, one insight becomes clear. No effective leader operates purely transformational or purely transactionally. Context determines emphasis. Technology disruption requires inspiration. Global scale requires structure. Leadership effectiveness lies in integration. If I reflect on my own leadership orientation, I identify primarily as transformational. I value vision, empowerment, and intellectual stimulation. But I recognize that in homeland security, cybersecurity, and complex organizations, accountability cannot be optional. Structure protects mission integrity. Metrics reinforce trust. Integration ensures sustainability. As we close this video, remember this. Leadership is not about labels. It's about behaviors aligned with vision and reinforced by structure. Transformational leadership is ignites movements. Transactional leadership sustains it. The most effective leaders integrate both, adapt to context, and continuously refine their approach through critical thinking and reflective practice. If you are on a doctoral journey, embrace that integration. Move beyond theory, apply it, test it, refine it, and lead in a way that inspires and endures. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you think differently about leadership, subscribe, share it with your colleagues, and continue the conversation. Leadership is not static, it is developmental, and your journey is just beginning.